is about a king who is eagerly awaiting for the answers for the basic 3 questions, isn't it? What are the 3 questions the king wants to get answers for? What is the right time to begin everything? Who is the right person to listen to? What is the important work to do? Isn't it? These are the 3 questions for which the king is searching for the answers. Is that clear? So students, do you remember what are the ideas, what are the answers which are given by so many wise men to the king? Do you remember that? First, what the wise men are saying, they are saying that in order to know what is the right time to begin everything, you just schedule your works. Just prepare a calendar so that you can able to follow as per there in the calendar. So some wise men are saying just jot down, just note down all the important works you are going to do at time. That is for next month, for next year, for entire year, just schedule a timetable, a calendar. That is what the idea given by few of the wise men. But some others are saying, no, this is not the good idea. This is one of the worst ideas because we cannot plan for future. We do not know what will happen tomorrow, isn't it? Do we know what will happen tomorrow? No. The future is unpredictable. The past, we cannot change the past. We do not know what will happen in the future. In order to know the future possibilities, we should have a magician with us. This is the idea given by some other wise men. What they are saying, if you want to prepare a calendar, if you want to know what will happen in the future, what will happen tomorrow, you should have a magician with you in the court, in the palace. This is what the idea given by another wise man. For the first question, what is the first question? What is the right time to begin everything? For that they are offering so many ideas to the king. And for the next question, who is the right person to listen to? For that question, some wise men are saying that you can consult the words of the priest. You can listen to the words of the doctors. You can listen to the words of the soldiers who are in the battlefield. So these are the ideas given by the wise men. Why should I listen to the people who are in the war field, in the battlefield? Why? Why should I listen? Because these wise men are saying that if you listen to the words of these soldiers, you will be able to protect your kingdom. You will be able to conquer or capture the neighboring kingdoms. That is the idea of the wise men. And some others are saying you just listen to the words of the priest. What the priest will help? The priest will help the people to lead a life of righteousness, to lead a life of honest, humility, humbleness. All the virtues will obey your elder brothers and sisters. You should obey your grandparents, isn't it? That is your important work. And also, it's time for you to learn. It's time for you to get knowledge and wisdom. That's why you are coming to school every day, isn't it? So, every person in this world has an important work to do. As students, it's your duty to study. It's your duty to respect and obey your parents and elders. That is the important duty of children, isn't it? So, for the third question, some wise men are saying the important duty for every individual is worshipping God. Worshipping God is an important duty, as we all know. So, some wise men are saying that worshipping God is the important duty you should do now. That is the very important work of every individual, not only the king, not only the subjects there. Every human being, that is the right duty, that is the important duty of all the human beings. What is the important duty of all the human beings? Worshipping God. And some others are saying warfare. As a king, it's your duty to protect your kingdom. You should fight against your enemies. So always you should be in the warfare. What is meant by warfare? Battlefield. So you should be in the battlefield. You should be there to fight against the enemies. You should protect your kingdom. These are the main duties of a king. Some wise men are saying you should worship God, and some others are saying you should be in the warfare. You should be in the battlefield. You should fight against the enemies. And you should try to capture the other kingdom. And some others are saying science is very important. Science? What is meant by science? Everything around us have science in it, isn't it? So some wise men are saying science is very important. Few are saying worshipping is very important. Some others are saying warfare is very important. And some others are saying no, science is very important. We should know all these scientific advancements. So science knowledge, the wisdom about science is very important for a king. Children, do you remember why this king is in search of these answers for these questions? Because the king wants to lead his kingdom in the right manner. If he came to know the answers for the basic three questions, he will be able to lead his kingdom in a better way. And for that reason, he is in search of the answers for these questions. What is the important work for me to do? Who is the right person for me to listen to? And whom should I avoid? And what is the right time to begin everything? So, if I get all these answers for these questions, I will be able to lead a kingdom with good knowledge and wisdom. Then my subjects will be happy. This is the quest. This is the desire of the king, and that's why he is in search of these questions. But all the answers of the wise men did kingdom, and he know that there is a hermit living there in the forest. Who is a hermit? A hermit is like sadhu. In India, we have so many sadhus who are living in mountains, in forests, isn't it? So here the king know a person. He is a popular hermit. He is a renowned person. He is a famous person, famous hermit. A hermit is a person who lives all alone in a place mainly for religious purposes. They will meditate there in the forest. They will live all alone. They will not enjoy the family pleasures of the family. They will be detached from the material world and they will live all alone in the forest. They are all called as hermits. They are wise men. These hermits are wise men. So here this king gets an idea to meet this hermit. This hermit is a popular person in his kingdom, and so he decides to meet this person, meet this hermit. And one of the important features of this hermit is this hermit will not meet any people who are like kings, like very popular persons, like rich person, wealthy person. He will not meet them. He will meet the people who are in humble nature, ordinary people. He will meet only the ordinary people. He will not meet people. All are equal in this world, isn't it? God has created each and every one of us equally. People in India is same as the people in Africa. People in Africa is same as the people in Britain, in America, isn't it? All are equal. We all have two eyes, one nose, one mouth, 2 ears. We are all looking same as equally. And so this hermit will not allow others, will not meet or will not visit anybody who is showing their grandeur, who is showing their wealth. So this hermit only meet the people who are common and equal as like others. And so the king dressed himself like a simple common man. How do the kings dress? They dress, their outfits looks very grandeur, isn't it? But this king, the king already know that the hermit will not meet him unless he go with simple and ordinary costume. And so this king changed his outfits. He changed himself to meet this hermit. This hermit is living in the forest. So this hermit is living in the forest in a small hut. And the king along with his soldiers and all the horse along with him, he stay aside everything and then he moves out of the people who are protecting him. There are so many soldiers and he gets out of the horse carriage and then he is going to meet the hermit. So with simple ordinary costume, without the protection of the soldiers, without his horse, he just gets out of the carriage, the horse carriage, and then he is moving to meet the hermit. And the hermit in the forest, the hermit is living in his hut. Can you understand, students, what the king is doing? The king decides to meet a hermit who is a popular person, and this hermit only meets the ordinary people, the common people. He will not give importance to wealth. He will not give importance to anything else. He just give importance only to human beings who are humble, who are very common as like others. So the king with humble, ordinary costume, without the protection of the soldiers and the horse and everything, he left everything in the forest and now he is all alone walking to meet the hermit who is when this hermit saw the king, he identifies that he is none other than the king of that kingdom. And this hermit is familiar of this king. He knows him very well. This hermit is digging the ground in the forest, in his land. So, to this hermit, this king is introducing himself and he is saying that I came here for seeking for your help. I am pleading for your help. What is the help? The king is in need of, the king wants to get answers for the 3 questions. And so, this king is saying to this hermit, I need a help from you. I want to get answers for 3 questions. Again, he is saying the questions. What is the right time to begin everything? I do not know what is the right time to begin. What is the right time to do anything? If at the age of 80, can I get an admission in KG, LKG or UKG? Can I get? No. At the age of 5 or 6, can I go to an MLC company to work? No. So, this king is eager to know the answer. What is the right time to do and work? And again he is saying, I also want to know another answers for a question. Who is the right person to listen to? Should I listen to the doctors? Should I listen to the priests? Should I listen to the soldiers? So I don't know to whom should I listen. And for the 3rd question, what is the important work for me? Should I rule my kingdom? Should I take care of my parents? Should I do any other works? I don't know what is the important work for me to do. So please help me to get answers for these questions. That's why I came to meet you. Who is saying this? The king is saying. The king is asking. The king is introducing himself to the hermit. And he is saying, I need answers for these 3 questions. And so please help me. Would you please help me to get answers? But this hermit, he did not listen to the words of the king and he is again digging the ground. Again and again this king is trying to ask him the same question. He is repeating the questions. Please tell me the answers. But the hermit did not respond to him. This hermit is again and again he is digging the ground. And this hermit looks very weak and feeble. As he is a very old man, he cannot do such hard works. Digging the ground it's very difficult. It's very hard to dig, isn't it? So already this hermit is an old man. He looks very weak. And so by seeing this, the king, do the king ever dig the ground? Have you ever seen any king who is digging the ground? No. But this king, he feels pity on the hermit and so he is requesting the hermit, give me this spade. I will do your work. So he just take this spade from the hermit and he started to dig the ground. Why did he help the hermit? Because the hermit, he is an old man. He looks very weak. This old man, this hermit cannot do such hard works. And he has been digging this ground for a long time. And this makes the king to feel pity on the hermit. And so he takes the spade and he starts to dig the ground. Just he is digging the ground and again he is repeating the question. Please tell me the answers for the questions. I have asked you 3 questions. Would you please tell me the answers? He is digging for 2 beds and again he is asking the question. Again 2 beds, again he is repeating the questions. Please tell me the answers for the questions. So again and again, repeatedly the king is asking the answers for the questions. To whom? To the hermit. Then, now this king is digging the ground for his helping the hermit. But dig the ground. And so he is asking you, please take rest, I'll do the work. So he is again and again digging the ground, asking the questions. Now the time sets and it's evening time. Students, I hope you all have understood our today's class. What we have seen today, the king is not satisfied with the answers of the wise men, and so he decides to meet a hermit who is a popular person in his kingdom. And so he went to meet him, and there what he did, with humble dress, with ordinary costume, without any protection, he go and meet the hermit. And he is asking 3 questions. I want to know answers for these 3 questions. So please help me. And what the hermit is doing there? The hermit is digging the ground. The king feels pity on him as he is very weak and feeble. So the king gets a spade from the hermit and is digging the ground. He is helping the old man. He is helping the hermit. Again and again he is repeating the question. I came here to know the answers for the questions, but you are not yet revealing the answers. You are not telling the answers to me. This is what we have seen today. And now the time is evening. He came to meet the hermit in the morning. Till evening he is digging the ground, but he did not get the answers for the questions. This is what we have seen in today's class. Now it's time to read our text. Are you all ready, students? Take your book. Let's all read together. Students, take page number 29. Take page number 29. To the third question, as to what was the most important occupation, some replied that the most important thing in the world was science. Others said it was skill in warfare, and others again that it was worship. All the answers being different, the king agreed with none of them and gave the reward to none. But still, wishing to find the right answers to his questions, he decided to consult a hermit widely renowned for his wisdom. The hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted, and he received none but common folk. So the king put on simple clothes, and before reaching the hermit's cell, dismounted from his horse. Leaving his bodyguard behind, he went on alone. When the king approached, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. Seeing the king, he greeted him and went on digging. The hermit was frail and weak, and each time he stuck his spade into the ground and turned a little earth, he breathed heavily. The king went up to him and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I most need, and to whom should I therefore pay more attention than to the rest? And what affairs are the most important and need my first attention? The hermit listened to the king, but answered nothing. You are tired, said the king. Let me take the spade and work a while for you. Thanks, said the hermit, and giving the spade to the king, he sat down on the ground. When he had dug 2 beds, the king stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit again gave no answer, but rose, stretched out his hand for the spade and said, Now rest a while and let me work a bit. But the king did not give him the spade and continued to dig.
1 hour passed and another. The sun began to sink behind the trees, and the king at last stuck the spade into the ground and said, I came to you, wise men, for an answer to my questions. If you can give me none, tell me so, and I'll return home.
Students, now let's learn a few new words, vocabularies, okay, from your text. The first word, hermit. What is a hermit? Who is a hermit? I have told you already. Who is a hermit? Hermit is a person or someone who lives alone and keeps away from people. He lives all alone. He will be detached from the material world.